So there was a movement afoot to get electors that are part of the Electoral College to actually be what they call faithless electors. And even though their state voted for Trump, to not vote for Trump. Well, the Electoral College is today, and there were protests throughout the country at state capitals in the 50 states, and there was a great movement afoot, and some electors did switch. Was it enough? Well, first, let me tell you what the American people wanted. They actually did want the Electoral College to wait. It's by a narrow majority, but even this is very surprising, big numbers. The Independent reports that according to the poll, which was commissioned by Avaz, that's a global activist group, 52% of Americans wanted Monday's Electoral College vote delayed in light of the CIA pointing the finger at Russia for the hacks and leaks of various Democratic Party email accounts. So they wanted the electors to be able to see the evidence for themselves. They did not get that. It was not delayed, and they did not see the evidence. They say that in addition, 46% of the same sample told YouGov that they support faithless electors, members of the Electoral College who plan on voting against the winner of their state. So did they get enough to topple Donald Trump? News. No. They did get two guys in Texas that voted against Trump. One voted for John Kasich and another one voted for Ron Paul. One of them is presumably, though we don't know their exact names at this point, Christopher Supran, who is the guy who said ahead of time that I will vote against Donald Trump, and he said he was going to vote for Kasich. That's presumably the Kasich vote that we actually did see in Texas, and we don't know the name of the person who voted for Ron Paul. So 2 is not enough. They needed 38. So whether you like it or not, Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. Now, some of you are thinking, I can't keep it up for long. And others are thinking, I hear you, brothers and sisters, but that's how it went down. He did win the Electoral College today, although he lost the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes. Now, let me tell you about the other faithless electors that actually voted against Hillary Clinton. More of them switched. But this is important and interesting. So in Washington state, only 8 of the state's 12 Democratic electors voted for Clinton, or Democratic electors, I should say. 4 others refused to cast their vote for the Democratic presidential nominee. Instead, 3 opted for Colin Powell, and the last elector cast his or her vote for Faith Spotted Eagle, a South Dakota activist against the pipeline. So Colin Powell gets 3 votes. This activist gets another vote. In Colorado, Maine, and Minnesota, Democratic electors also tried to vote for other candidates, but their votes were dismissed. Now, the Colorado elector is very, very interesting. I'm going to get back to him in a second. But I also want to tell you at the end here why these folks voting against Hillary Clinton is also important, and I think maybe historically important. So let me just tell you about the last one. Maine Democratic elector at large, David Bright, told lawnews.com that he intends to vote for Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton to recognize the efforts of the young voters who helped defeat Clinton in Maine's presidential caucuses. And Bright said, I will vote for Bernie on the first ballot, the second ballot, the 10th ballot, and the 100th ballot, if that's what it takes. He didn't. He voted for Bernie on the first ballot, and they told him he had to vote for Hillary Clinton, and he did. But it was a good idea, and I like the effort. So why is it historically important? Because this didn't affect the election, and Donald Trump will become president. But the Electoral College has got to go. This is madness. We can't have the Electoral College consistently overturning the will of the American people. We're supposed to have a democracy. Whoever gets more votes is supposed to become president. Now, 2 times in the last 16 years, in fact, 40% of the elections in this century have been overturned. So, and by overturn, I mean one person clearly won the popular vote, and in a so-called democracy, they did not become our leader. That is outrageous. So if it takes some degree of chaos in the Electoral College for people to go, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't let those random people decide. Well, you're right. That's why the Electoral College is ridiculous. The state apportionment issue is insane, so the people in Mississippi and Alabama never have any say in a presidential election, nor the people in California and New York. So since those are solidly blue and solidly red states, your vote is eliminated. No one cares about you. No one will ever care about you. They won't run presidential ads there. You'll never see presidential nominees there. This is an insane system. Then on top of that, the electors could, and in this case began to, just simply revolt and go, you voted that way, I'm not interested. According to the Electoral College, I get to vote any way I like. So I'm just going to switch the vote. So if you don't want this happening next time, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, we should work hard to get rid of this antiquated, ridiculous Electoral College. And I have a proposal, and it's kind of crazy. You know what we should try instead? Democracy. And whoever gets the most votes is the president. Okay, finally, we go back to that Colorado elector because his name is Michael Baca, and he's a bit of an interesting story. He said that he was not going to vote for Hillary Clinton until she gave an interview to the Young Turks. Not kidding. So here is the reporter, I believe from the Associated Press, who covered it today as saying that elector is a Sanders supporter who before the election threatened to withhold his vote unless Hillary Rodham Clinton gave interview to the Young Turks on Dapple. How much do I love this guy? I had no idea that that was going to happen. And so then others are outraged by this. Sam Stein from Huffington Post says, I'm all for the Young Turks, but that is an insane ransom. Agree to disagree, Sam. If I had known about it, I would have gotten 20 electors to do it. And the reason is not because, oh, I'm against Hillary Clinton or it would make a difference if Hillary Clinton electors voted for Bernie Sanders or anyone else. It's because the Electoral College has got to go. So if I could get one person or 20 people, or maybe next time 200 people to vote in a different way, you know what? Next time I'll actually try and maybe we'll get it done. Because it is crazy that we allow our democracy to be run and be at the hands of these people. Because even if it's illegal in their particular state to vote against the will of their own state, which it is in many states, we recently had a ruling saying those laws are unconstitutional. According to the Electoral College, they could vote any way they like. So this particular elector can turn around and make any request he likes. Oh, well, Hillary Clinton's not going on the Young Turks? Well, sad day, I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton. To me, it seems like a fair request. And of course, she never did come on to the Young Turks. And she thought she did not need the 80 million viewers we have who are relatively young and were relatively unconvinced and were very progressive. It turns out she was wrong about that too. You know who makes independent media possible? You guys. Because of you, we can actually do this show free of any outside influence. That's what makes us so strong. Become a member today. tytnetwork.com/join. You are the media.